I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. First and foremost, a couple shameless plugs. You know the deal. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Rich Tomorrow. I upload content on a fairly regular basis, going to try for daily. And I also live stream on a fairly regular basis as well. Also, leave a thumbs up and a comment. It helps in the algorithm. And two, I have an ASMR channel, and as of me filming this video at 3:30 p.m. today, which is December 5th, I will have a new video up on that channel talking about tech I've gotten over the holidays throughout the years. It's a very interesting video, so make sure you check out my ASMR channel called Tech25 ASMR, link below in the description. So back in October, I talked about this, where the PS6 is going to have a handheld version of the console, which I think in the current market is a very smart idea from Sony. And one of the things I talked about is that the PS6 handheld is going to be significantly more powerful than the Switch 2. This info actually came from Moore's Law is Dead. He got some leaks sent out to him, and this is what he had to say. The PS6 handheld has a CPU that is much faster than the Switch 2. I do believe that. It also has the same number of compute units as the Xbox ROG Ally X, but with a wildly better RDNA architecture. It's going to be based on newer RDNA tech. The ROG Xbox Ally X has the same GPU that I've used quite a bit, the 890M, which is based on RDNA 3.5 graphics tech from AMD, whereas the PS6's RDNA compute units will be based on RDNA 5. So much newer tech, much more powerful RDNA tech is going to be inside the PS6 handheld. So don't just go by the compute units, go by how capable each compute unit is. And it's going to make a big difference with how the PS6 portable is as compared to the ROG Ally X or Xbox Ally X, I mean to say. These names are not great. It also has a 50% wider memory bus with faster RAM. I found with my quick math, again, this is coming from Moore's Law is Dead on YouTube, the PS6 handheld in dock mode should be nearly 3 times faster than the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's not going to be a slouch. It's going to be a really pretty capable portable handheld from Sony. Now, we've heard about this low power mode with the PS5, and we were wondering, is it like to save power on the PlayStation 5, make it more efficient, help with your electricity bill, because you're probably getting gouged in your electricity bill right now because they're pumping electricity to the AI data centers, which are going to take over our entire lives and ruin us. But that's a story, well, partially for my other video that I made today, but that's a story for a different video as well. But it seems like this low power mode is that they're really focusing on getting games to run at 60 FPS on the PS6 handheld, and they want developers to work within the confines of that low power mode. This comes from GameSpot. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. And Digital Foundry, Richard Ledbetter from Digital Foundry actually said he was wondering if this was the case, and he was right. Sony reportedly pushing PS5 low power mode to prepare for PS6 handheld support. In his latest video, Moore's Law is Dead says he heard from a game developer working with Sony's tools on PS5. According to him, Sony has been sending out emails that strongly encourage studios to support the console's low power mode directly, along with tutorials and documentation. Put simply, Sony is not just telling devs turn on a power saving option and cut the frame rate. The push, according to this report, this is where it gets interesting, is to keep 60 frames per second and instead reduce resolution and CPU use until the game fits the low power budget. Razer CPU, the internal CPU utility for the PS5, is meant to help studios track down heavy CPU threads and trim them. Now, this is what Moore's Law is Dead's leaker said specifically. This week, we, anonymous game dev, received emails from Sony pushing low power mode hard, almost like they need us to support it directly eventually. They provided tutorials and instructions that outlined we shouldn't just lower frame rates to fit the low power mode's requirements. No, Instead, we should try to maintain 60 FPS by lowering resolutions, hopefully not too low. Razer CPUs. This is a CPU utility for the PS5 development. Walkthroughs that aim to help us find CPU bottlenecks so we can reduce CPU usage and even look for ways to reduce how many threads are used by our game. And it also seems that Sony is annoyed about how many devs are not using this low power mode, and they want more to use it because they want to make sure they understand it and get their games ready for Sony's next gen portable system. So I think there's a couple things here. I'm happy to see that they're targeting 60 FPS games. 60 FPS is, I feel like, should be the standard in 2025, but it's still not. I mean, we have way more games now than ever that hit 60 FPS plus, but if a game is really demanding, developers, if you want to go into like visual mode when you hit a graphics preset on your consoles, yeah, they'll still go for 30. They'll still go for 30 because, demanding games, they have to lower the frame rate to get the higher resolution and higher details. So I think it's a good thing that they're targeting 60 FPS for the PS6 portable, we'll just call it for now. I'm hoping, though, it's not like 60 FPS at any cost where games are going to be going down to 240p, because at that point, then what the hell is the point? Oh, it's on a portable screen. No, you'll still see it. It'll look like a blurry mess, but we'll see like how stringent they're going to be where Sony requires games, I should say, to be 60 FPS. So a little bit of a concern. But also what I think Sony is doing is that, hey, we want our console to at least have a fairly decent battery life. And if you're within these specs, it'll at least mean we know if you stay within this low power mode that we could promise this, or at least promise close to the battery life that we're going to advertise. So I think that's another thing. But hate to be the bearer of bad news again. We got to think about this. What the hell are the price of these next-gen systems going to be if the RAM shortage, which now with Micron leaving the consumer RAM market, doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon. Maybe not ever. So what does this mean for like the Steam machine? What does this mean for next gen systems as a whole? How much is the PS6 going to cost if memory keeps on going up in price, or at best, and I think this is a best case scenario with the huge jump in prices that we've seen, stays like the price of RAM now ends up being the median price for ever. And that's a best case scenario. What does that mean for the cost of next-gen systems when they launch? Man, the consumer is being priced out. Not to end on a dark note, but we have to. Because this RAM problem and this storage problem and memory problem is going to affect everything. So buckle up. But the PS6 portable seems great. See, I ended glass half full, you see?